I should have presented my product in a better manner. So I know there is a lot of uncertainties, and you will have many questions going into a new area. My number one advice is to just do it.
I'm excited to dive into the story. Why don't you tell me a little
Absolutely.
bit about yourself and some of your background? Where were you before Amazon, and
Of course.
how did you dive into all of this?
Of course. Yeah, so nice to meet you. My name is Neil. So been working in a 9 to 5 job. I was in chartered accounting for many years. I was working in Australia for for most of my career, and I think COVID was the reason why I started doing all of this. I think I was in lockdown a lot, and I just it just didn't feel like I was living my life anymore, and I think I needed more freedom in my life, and I just one day I just decided that I couldn't do this anymore, um, and I decided that I had to quit, and I wanted to seek a lifestyle that has more freedom, and so I took a trip to Chiang Mai after I first quit my job, and then I discovered that many people there are already doing this digital nomad lifestyle, and I thought I could definitely do something similar, and I guess that's where the journey began. It didn't start with like trying to come up with like buy and sell on Amazon. I was like maybe like trying to get a job in like software engineering or something. Um, so I took a few tries in various areas, and then eventually found this course, product for formula with Travis, and enrolled I think around mid-year last year, and just started getting on with it. And yeah, it's been about 6 7 months since the product has launched, and I wouldn't say it's going really well, but I have definitely learned a lot from this process.
Yeah, and it's amazing to hear how many people changed their life in COVID, and that's cool to hear that you made this leap and it's doing so well for you. Um, so maybe you want to share like why did you create this product and
Sure.
how did you choose it?
Of course. So I started doing CrossFit training from about May last year, and maybe my technique wasn't like perfect. So I was getting a lot of bruises on my collarbones all the time from repeated barbell movements. And I was like trying to see if there's anything out there that will help me like lessen the impact. And I think there was one product that I found. So that's the competitive product that existed at the time, and it was very thin and also very narrow. And I thought someone's got to come up with something better than this, and I couldn't find anything else, so I decided to just make some modifications and change it and to make it wider, thicker, and then um, the competitor product also like kind of flies around when you jump, perform more like complex movements like burpees, for example. So I also added like straps that people can just tie around your chest, so it doesn't fly around. But ironically, I don't think I done the launch as good as the competitors. So as of now, my ranking is actually pretty bad, and but theirs, I think they still have a pretty solid ranking there with like I'm pretty sure it's like reviews from their friends, and they all kept it like 5 star. But I've got like some very nasty reviews on mine. But yeah, that's one of the learnings that I got from this process.
So there are similar or competitive products similar to yours?
Yeah, so my idea basically it originated from the competitor product. I was like trying to make an improvement on the competitive product.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
great. Did you use helium 10 at all, like in researching this
yeah.
product?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and by the time, yeah, I started that product. So I also signed up for the additional mentoring program with Passion Product Formula, and so there was a lot of like validations and also checks. Also, there's a lot of help received as well to to I guess validate this product, and that there should be enough of a demand for this niche.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
great. And what is your brand name?
it's called Brucey.
Brucey. How did you come up with it?
I well, it's kind of a play on the word bruise because I'm getting bruises on the
Mm.
collarbones, and I was trying to make it sound fun. So that's how Bruisey came about. I've tried many different variations, and this one kind of stuck. So I was like, yeah, okay, let's go with that. Yeah,
That's funny. That's a good name.
yeah.
Yeah, because I like the way you. I mean, I haven't seen anything like it. It's like such a unique product that covers the front and the back of your shoulders. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Was it hard to find a manufacturer to work with?
Um, Actually, it wasn't too hard. That I initially thought that was probably going to be the hardest thing. But once I started reaching out, and there were some really good manufacturers, and they were willing to work with me to design samples and stuff. It wasn't that hard. Once I dived into it, so I've like worked with Fiverr to some people on Fiverr to design the tech pack, and then I could show that to the manufacturer. That's exactly how I want it, and then they've made a first iteration, and I've asked for some changes, and then made a second iteration, and then it looked much better than the first, and then I asked for a little bit more changes, and then goes into production.
How many manufacturers did you talk to?
About three.
Three. And how
Yeah.
did you decide like which one to go with?
Um, I chose this one because this one was the most responsive, and they always get back to me on time, and any changes I ask them to make, they would be very happy to accommodate. They'll
Mm,
be also very upfront to me about like how much it's going to cost. I think some of the other manufacturers, I guess they're very worried about like how much quantity you're going to take from me before they decide if they want to work with you or not. So a lot of manufacturers are yeah, a lot of them, they don't work with like smaller players like me, but the one that I work with, they do. So
yeah,
thankful
no,
for that.
that's great. We always recommend, three different criterias when you're selecting a manufacturer. Excuse me. Communication is a big part of it, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
Accommodating your requests is like a huge part.
Yeah.
That are they willing to accommodate your MOQ, your design changes, development? Are they willing to send you samples? And three, and I think that's really important too, are they like verified? Have they been in the business for a while?
Mhm.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
It seems like you were following those tips in mind when you're communicating with the manufacturer. Now, how many samples did you have to order before you were like, okay, I like this? And what kind of sampling were you doing? Was it the material? Was it the design? How was that for you?
Um, I had in total about, I think, three samples in total. So the manufacturer already knows the material much better than I do. So I've asked for like material that are soft. So this competitor was using scuba as the material. So I ordered a sample from from the competitor, just to feel it out and see what the design is like. And so I've asked the manufacturer to use similar material, and the manufacturer told me like they've done sport products like this before, and they made some modifications, and they even like included like a mesh back, so it like feels more comfortable on the skin. So I think their version is like a lot better than what I had imagined. So because I didn't know the materials that well myself, so I got the version that the manufacturer sent me, and I compared it to the version from the competitor, and I definitely think the version from the manufacturer was better.
Nice.
Yeah,
Uh, so you got the final sample that you liked.
yeah.
At that point, like how many units did you order for your
I
first inventory order?
ordered 400 for the first batch.
400 units?
Yeah,
And how much did that cost you
I think I wrote it down in the sheet.
in the sheet? Yeah, you put
Yeah,
here that it was 1,700 almost.
yeah. So that's the first production one.
Nice. And
Yeah,
any big issues that happened at this point, or did it go smoothly for you?
no big issues. Everything was going okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And And where did you get your UPC codes at that point? So I'm guessing that was your next step. Like, let me get my UPC codes, start setting up
Mm-hmm.
my listing and all of that. Where'd you get your UPC codes from?
GS1. I got it from GS1.
And you got, did you just get one or did you get multiple? Oh, I
I just got
see.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just one product, and yeah, I guess if you get multiples, I don't know, do you use it for like more than one product, right? So at the moment, I just have one. I'm thinking of doing more. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, some people buy a package in case, they want to save money for the future. But I was
Yeah.
just curious how you
Mhm.
did it.
Yeah.
And
It
did
was
you
just
start an LLC at all?
I started a company based in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you set that up? And how much
Um,
did it cost you?
it cost around $500. It wasn't that difficult, so the process was quite simple, straightforward. They made it very easy to register a company online. So you provide the necessary documents, and then you pay the fee. And the whole process took about 2 weeks, I think, and all the documents came back and finalized. Yeah, it was very simple.
Was it an agency?
No, I did it myself. It was very simple. The government provided all the instructions online, so you just follow every single step and then filling all the details. And yeah, I think it wasn't a trouble at all.
Do you know the name of the company, the Australian company?
Oh, my company.
That no, the one that helped you set up the LLC,
Oh, I didn't use any agency to set it up. I set it up myself.
and you set it up in Australia, right?
Yes.
So what is the website or that you use?
Oh, to find this information.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I get a lot of questions
yeah.
from people who are like trying to set up an LLC and
Right.
maybe they don't reside in the US
Okay.
uh, and that could be
Uh,
like really helpful for other sellers.
I think it was just the I think I searched up the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, and that was the agency managing all the companies. And there is an option there to register a business.
Okay.
Yeah,
And did you get a trademark at all?
I did. I got one from Australia, and I also got one for the US. I think I later learned that I only really just need one in order to get into the brand registry, but I already started the process for both, so I kind of got both.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Better safe than sorry, right?
yeah,
But actually, like even in the US, like
mhm,
if you just have an application in process,
yeah.
Amazon has upgraded their regulatory forms to, if you have an application in process, you can be brand registered. You don't even have to be approved yet,
Okay,
which is kind of cool. It speeds up the process now for
exactly.
all the
Yeah,
sellers. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, let's talk about like design because you said you
Course.
hired designer for your packaging and product and
Mhm.
logo.
Yeah,
Uh, how did you find your designer?
I found them on Fiverr. So there were people advertising their services on Fiverr, saying they can do like clothing tech pack design so that they can give very specific instructions to the manufacturers. The process was helpful, but I guess in hindsight, it wasn't necessary completely because the manufacturer knows more than the designer. So I rather just work directly with the manufacturer to fine tune the design. So whatever
Mm,
the designer gave me was like very primitive drawings on the computer, but and the manufacturer like they just know instantly what to do.
wow.
Um, but
Did
I
you
guess
have to
it
go
was a helpful starting point. Yeah, sorry.
right? Did you have to go like through different versions of your package and logo or your product design?
I Yeah, I asked for changes, so just to make it look the way I want it to look, and then I presented it to the manufacturer. Um, it wasn't until the manufacturer came up with the first sample that I had like further instructions, like how I want it to look exactly. So it's not like
Yeah.
the picture.
Was that costly at all? Did they like charge you more to do that or
How much did I spend on the design? I think I so wrote it down.
You put 128 for clothing tech pack and
Yeah,
logo design. Was
yeah, I
that
think it's around that.
was that just for Fiverr, or was that including like did the manufacturer charge you at all for design changes or
It was
upgrades?
mostly Fiverr.
Cool. And did you do all this like on your own, or did you have like any friends or family that like gave you some advice or guidance during this time?
Um, yeah, my mum helped me to stitch the very, very rough first version together. I went and bought like some cloth from the market, and I said this is how I want it, and then I basically used my scissors to just cut it up, and I had a very, very rough version, and my mum just stitched it all together for me. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
And that's so cool, like that you actually made something at home, like a
yeah,
prototype.
yes,
Uh, and did you get like once the product was manufactured, you got the samples that you liked, and you know now it's in production. How did you get your product photos for your Amazon listing?
yeah.
Did you do that with your samples, or did you wait till you got your inventory? Did the manufacturer help you with that? How did you do it?
I did it with a sample. I think I did it back in October or November. I think early November last year, and I asked my gym if I can use their space. So I hired their space for a few hours, and during the non-peak hours, and then I also hired a photographer and also hired two models to come in and put it on and do workouts. So I had some really cool footages. I think the photo shoot was the probably it was money well spent. It was also quite expensive to do that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It's you said it cost you about $900 almost.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's well worth it though, because
It
that's what
was. Yeah.
the first thing the customer is gonna see. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yes. Definitely.
And after that, like, so getting ready for launching, did you use like any Facebook groups, social media, influencers, or a Kickstarter? Did you use any of those at this point?
I have set up a few social media accounts to try to promote the product. But I think I should have done more in this area. I think now looking back, this is probably the number one area that I should have focused on a little bit more, just to get more of a bit more traction before the product becomes live. Because I don't think I did enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know it's sometimes it's overwhelming too, right? Like before launching, and you're learning all this on the side, and you're trying to like become a marketing
yeah,
expert. That's like a whole different, like ball
yeah,
game. It can make a huge difference for launching, right? But it
yeah,
does require a lot of time and creativity and resources to do it.
yeah, definitely.
Um, so how did you ship your product to so you opened or launched in the US market, right?
Yes.
So how did you use or what shipping method did you use? Did you ship by sea or by air to Amazon?
Shipped by sea. So the manufacturer took care of the shipping for me as well. Um, they
Oh,
have
cool.
they have
So the
regular providers they use, and they use the same one to, and then they just passed on the cost to me, and then I paid for that. Yeah.
Nice. So the 1700 that includes shipping, right? For
Um,
the first inventory order.
no, there was an additional 500 something dollars, 550.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah,
So it costs you an additional $500 to ship
yeah,
by sea
yeah,
to the manufacturer.
yeah.
Did you have any like major expenses at this point, or did everything like seem to be going smoothly for you? Yeah.
Yes, to be going okay. Yeah, I guess also because I was a part of the mentoring group, so everyone has been sharing helpful tips. So um, didn't make any major mistakes. Like coming to launch, like there was no major mistakes, and everything seemed to be quite smooth.
And that's great, and
Yeah,
that's the big part of like mentorship and having a coach they kind of guide you to avoid, major mistakes because they've done it before and they
Yeah.
know exactly what to look for.
Hmm.
So that's great to hear,
Yeah.
that it was good for you in that sense.
Mhm.
Um, so before we get into launching,
Yeah.
and I think this like we ask everyone this question: what were like the biggest mistakes that you maybe made in like product design or
Hmm.
listing description or launch problems? Did these mistakes like cost you a little bit more than you anticipated? Did the wrong packaging like cost you more, or did you have any costly mistakes at this point? I know you mentioned like, the mentorship program helped you, but
Hmm.
by this point, did you like have anything that you felt like, oh, this was a costly mistake, I will avoid this next time?
Yeah. Yeah. So the biggest mistake that in my opinion, right now is to enroll in Amazon Vine program. That's the review program. So they will get customers to give you some review. I think a lot of those people are professional reviewers. So um, I don't know if they are like particularly critical because that's what they do as a job. So my product launched in December and the sales was going quite strong in January and also early February. Actually, February was the strongest month. And then the reviews came back towards the end of February, and they were very bad reviews. And then after that, the sales never recovered. It was just like staying at like a low level for until today. Um, I think I probably like it should have done like definitely there is a part on me that I should have done the product design a bit better. But I think also I should have taken into consideration how I should do the launch better and to present my product in a better angle
Mm,
than how I have currently done, or basically not done anything. Because I see the competitor product, it's supposed to be an improved version from the competitor, but the competitor used a slightly less or not as good product as mine, but they are doing quite okay with their launch. So I think I definitely have some work to do on the launching, needed or redo it so that
mm.
I package and like brand and present my product better. So I think
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, first of all, congratulations, and I see that you've made some profits too, regardless to the competitor doing a little better.
Mhm,
And the good thing is you could do another launch because you didn't go like you haven't invested too much in reviews yet,
mhm,
which can allow you to recreate the listing
mhm.
um, with a new launch.
Right.
But you have to consider the FNSKU codes.
Mhm.
You might have to create a new barcode on your packaging. But
Okay.
because you're only 5 reviews in, you could do another launch with a brand
Yeah.
new listing. And if
Mhm.
you have a stronger launch, you could get ranked higher
Right.
much quicker.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a good idea.
However, I would like to dive into the numbers because
Mhm,
um, you were profitable from month one, and another thing I wanted to mention is that you have good margins because after all the costs that you've had for launching your product,
mm.
to build it from scratch, and after the packaging and design and inventory and all of that,
Yeah.
your cost per unit is only $5.68,
Mhm,
and you're selling it at 35.99. So these are really good margins. So comes month one, December 23. That's a great month to launch as well.
yeah.
Why don't you tell me about that? I know you put the numbers, but like tell me a little bit about like month one. How did it go? How did you feel? And how much did
Yeah.
you make?
For month one.
Yeah.
Yeah, month one, I think it was December. It wasn't the biggest month. I think the launch felt like because in my head I was like thinking, oh, this launch is like some big thing. It's like a grand opening or something. But it was like really just like a normal day, and it's just like, oh, the product is live. Okay, now it's selling. So it didn't feel like it was a big moment. It was just like it's there now.
Oh my God, you didn't call
Yeah,
your friends, your family, like, hey, you gotta buy this product. I just launched.
I probably should have done that. It was, yeah, it felt very calm and a normal day. It just like another click on the computer, you know.
Wow.
Yeah,
But you
it
were still
was,
profitable. It looks like
yeah,
you had two sales during December. You
yeah,
didn't use PPC,
yeah,
which is kind of cool. So, like, you kept all the profits for
hmm,
month one.
yeah,
Month two, it looks like you used PPC a little bit,
yes,
but you've spent $150 on PPC. You've sold 12 units
hmm,
and made $500, which is cool. It left you with net profits of $160 for month two. Comes month three, you spend the double on PPC. You've sold 45 units. Sorry, I'm just reading the numbers as
yeah,
you
of course,
listed them
yes,
because yeah. And if you wanna jump in and share that, go for it.
yeah. So I think February was definitely the strongest month, and um yeah, I was like thinking always just after the launch, I just kept diving into like all the ways that I could help this product. So I looked into like how to do advertising, how to do more advertising, and then I started putting some stuff out on the social media accounts. And then me and the coach was also talking about like how to work with like maybe like send it to reviewers and maybe influencers and yeah, so there was like a whole bunch of ideas going around. I was like just trying to do a lot of things at that point. Yeah, Amazon Vine was also one of the things that I try to do. But I guess in hindsight, that was not the wisest thing to do at that point. I had some friends who bought it, and then they gave me a pretty good review. If I had just left it at that, I guess I could have kept the sales number going for a little longer. Um, but yes, after February, it just went downhill. So,
So yeah, so what happened is in February you've got some few bad Vine reviews,
yes.
which made your sales go down a little bit.
Hmm.
However, you were still profitable.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not until recently, I think it started going into into the red.
so last month was your first red
Yes.
negative
Yeah.
month.
Hmm.
Um, and so far in August, it looks like you're negative a little bit,
Yeah.
but I feel like you're still $6,000 net positive, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you placed a new inventory order yet, or is
I
it still?
have not. I still have a bit. I think I still have around 200 to go. So just halfway, really, for
Did
the
they
first
start?
section.
Did they start charging you storage fees at Amazon? Did you ship all your inventory to Amazon?
No, I shipped 75% to Amazon, and the rest is still kept at the manufacturer's warehouse. They've offered to just like keep it there for me. Yeah, because I was also thinking if I would do other platforms as well. I guess that's something I haven't really done anything about that. I should probably look into it right now, because I've also thinking like maybe I'll send some to Shopee or like other platforms outside of Amazon to try it out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they start charging you long-term storage fee or not yet?
Uh, Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, but because
Yeah.
you've been selling for 9 months
Hmm.
and you still haven't sold out all the inventory you send there,
Exactly. Yeah.
so you might start encountering long-term storage fees.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah. Did anything else interesting happen during that period? Um,
Anything else interesting? I've also come up with the. I also put this on Shopify. So I was also trying to like use other platforms other than Amazon. So I've experimented with a few. Initially, trying to go the WordPress route. I think people saying that WordPress is more sophisticated than Shopify. So I went down that route and then tried to design the website. And I just discovered that there is a lot of cost involved just to like get something going, get something good going. And then one of the group mates in the mentoring group started a Shopify site, and he basically did it all by himself. So I kind of follow that path, and I also had a Shopify site. So I was basically just directing all the sales from Shopify, and then I used the Amazon to fulfill them for me. So that was like the other interesting thing.
Did you have any luck selling on Shopify or not yet?
A few, but not a lot. It was, I guess, because maybe because I've also included the link on my Shopify site, just taking them directly to Amazon. I guess that's the more credible like way to buy for most people. So yeah, vast majority is through Amazon.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I mean,
Mhm.
other than the bad reviews that you got on month 3,
Mhm.
and it was because you requested some Vine reviews, which is unfortunate, but you could use that to your advantage by reading into the negative reviews, seeing like
Definitely.
how you can
Yeah,
improve your product.
definitely.
But overall, I see a successful product launch. I mean, you've already made up your investment
Yeah,
with
pretty
the
much. Yeah.
profits.
Hmm.
So congratulations on that. That's exciting. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, so I would like to, before we end this
Yeah.
call,
Hmm.
I would like to end it on, what are 3 costly mistakes that you've made through this experience that you'd like to share with yourself and with other sellers
Hmm.
that you could have avoided to make this better?
Yeah, so number one is to definitely do my product research better. And so I guess really just to have the end user in mind, and then like really thoroughly understanding their pain points and their struggles. um, this product came from a pain that I have myself, and I spoke to a few other fellow gym goers, and they were complaining about the same problem. And then I just jumped into a solution straight away. And I guess I should have done a lot more, I guess, user testing, using the prototype and then going back to the users and let them wear it. And maybe if they ask them if they can provide with me with some feedback, do they find it annoying to wear? Is it like not thick enough? So I should have done the design, I guess like the product research and design phase activities a lot more thoroughly than I have done with this first product. So I guess if I have done this successfully, I would have avoided a lot of the problems that I had faced like subsequently, like including getting bad reviews. And I guess like that fundamentally resulted from the product not being strong enough. And the second mistake I would say it's I should have presented my product in a better manner. So maybe getting some friends or family to help me with the reviews, and getting like loyal supporters to get to put the reviews up there first before I just like kind of like just dived into like getting Vine reviews from people who are, I guess, perhaps a little bit more critical than just the average population. And then also number 3 is to do my social media and pre-launch fan base building activities a bit better.
How much do you think these minor mistakes that now going through the process, how much do you think it cost you, and how much do you think like you missed out on if you would have avoided this? And this
Okay,
is just
sure.
hypothetical.
Well, if I'm just using the sales number for February, I think I should have. If I didn't have the negative reviews, I am anticipating that could go on for at least like 4 months. So maybe just looking at the numbers, so just comparing February to March, there's like a $500 difference if I go multiply that by 4 months. So let's say $2,000 less
Wow.
profit, but I mean it's still profitable. So I guess
Yeah.
yes.
Well, hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neil, and congratulations again. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Kamel. It's nice talking to you.
Yeah, thank you for coming and sharing your journey and your success and your mistakes and all of that. That's exciting to see.
Thank you.
Um,
Pleasure.
and and to end this on a positive note, maybe like what is one, advice or positive inspiration that you would give to someone who's just starting on this journey and maybe your younger self, what is like one positive advice that you would give?
Yeah. My number one advice is to just do it. Like, I know there is a lot of uncertainties, and you will have many questions going into a new area, not familiar with, like, not you're not knowing what you're doing. But I think the most important thing is to get started and figure things out as you go, and then learn things as you go. You will slowly make progress. So don't be too disheartened by the little hurdles and mistakes that come your way. You really just have to keep the momentum going, and you will get somewhere.
And if you go back, would you have done the mentorship program? Would
Yeah,
you would you
definitely.
have done that again?
Definitely, yeah. The advice definitely helped me avoid a lot of costly mistakes. I haven't had any major mistakes up to this day. So I think a lot of that is it's with the help received from the mentor and also my fellow group members. Just seeing everybody moving, having momentum kept me focused as well, and just make sure that I'm always like um, making sure that I'm making progress as well.
When did you join the program prior to launching?
I think I started around April last year.
Mm,
Yeah.
and you launched in December.
Yeah. So I think the group officially finished around March-ish. I think February or March. Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
from my group, yeah, a lot of other people have also launched. So it was good to see how they have performed as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Again, thank you, Neil. Appreciate it, and congratulations again. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much, Kamel.